Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 23b, part 2. I'm guessing it's about halfway. The words Ki Asa Ravdimi Am Rabbi Yochanan Machloket B'shtei Kitei Edim. When Ravdimi came from Eretz Yisrael, he said that Rabbi Yochanan says the dispute is with regard to a case in which one of the litigants claims that there are two sets of witnesses who can testify on his behalf. And the other litigant responds that one of the sets of witnesses is disqualified. In this case, the second litigant's claim is not tainted by a conflict of interest, as there is another set of witnesses who can testify against him in any event. The Rabbi Meir savar tzarich levarer, v'Rabbanan savri eno tzarich levarer. Aval bikat achat, divrei hakol ein yochol lefoislam. Rabbi Meir maintains that the litigant cannot give this testimony, as Rabbi Meir holds that a litigant who claims in court to have a certain number of witnesses ready to testify on his behalf is required to substantiate that they exist. Therefore, there is no concern that the other set of witnesses will not be brought to court, causing that litigant to lose the case due to the disqualification of the first set. And the rabbis hold that one is not required to substantiate the existence of witnesses he claims to have, as the disqualification of the first set of witnesses can cause the first litigant to lose the case. The second litigant is consequently unable to disqualify the first set due to his conflict of interest. But in a case of one set of witnesses, everyone agrees that a litigant cannot disqualify them due to his conflict of interest. Amru lafan of Rav Ami v'Rav Asi ein sham ela kat achat mahu. Rav Dimi continued, Rav Ami and Rav Asi said before Rabbi Yochanan, if there's only one set of witnesses there, what is the halacha? Ein sham ela kat achat ve'amrit aval b'kat achat divrei hakol ein yachal lepoislan ela nimtzeit kat shniya krovin o pesulin mahu. The Gemara interrupts, if there is only one set of witnesses there, what is the dilemma? But didn't you already say, but in a case of one set of witnesses, everyone agrees that a litigant cannot disqualify them? Rather, the question should be understood as follows. According to Rabbi Meir, who holds that a litigant can disqualify one of the other litigant's two set of witnesses if the second set is ultimately found to be related to one of the litigants or to each other, or is disqualified from bearing witness for other reasons, what is the halacha? Can the litigant whose witnesses were disqualified then claim that the other litigant was not capable of disqualifying the first set, as it turned out that they were the only witnesses who would be testifying against him? Amar lahen kavar heidu edim arishonim ika de amri amar Rav Ashi kavar heidu edim arishonim. Rabbi Yochanan said to them, the first pair of witnesses, meaning the second litigant who disqualified the other litigant's first set of witnesses, already testified. Since his testimony was valid at the time, it cannot be disqualified afterward. Some say this statement in the name of a different Amora. Rav Ashi says the first pair of witnesses already testified. Neima Beplukta derby, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel K'miflagi. The Gemara asks, shall we say that Rabbi Meir and the rabbis disagree with regard to the issue that is the subject of the dispute between Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi and Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel? Ditanya haba lidon bishtar chazaka nidon bishtar divrei Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel omer nidon bechazaka. As it is taught in the Braita with regard to one who comes to court to be judged concerning a claim against land that is in his possession, if in order to support his claim of ownership he comes to court both with a deed of purchase proving that the land is his, and with a claim of presumptive ownership of the land, stating that it had been in his possession for the past 3 years, which would render the deed superfluous. In this case, his claim is judged on the basis of the deed. The court examines whether or not the deed is valid. This is the statement of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says his claim is judged on the basis of his presumptive ownership. And we discussed this dispute, asking, can Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel possibly mean that the defendant's claim is judged on the basis of only his presumptive ownership and not on the basis of his deed? Meaning, is his deed of purchase ignored? Clearly, there is no reason to ignore the deed of purchase. Rather, say that Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel means that the defendant's claim is judged not only on the basis of the deed of purchase, but even on the basis of his presumptive ownership. In other words, either claim suffices. And we maintain that they disagree with regard to whether or not a litigant who claims to have more than one type of evidence is required to substantiate the existence of all his types of evidence. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi holds that one who claims to have a deed of purchase is required to bring it to court and cannot rely on his presumptive ownership. Whereas, according to Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, he can rely on his presumptive ownership. Apparently, this dispute is parallel to the dispute between Rabbi Meir and the rabbis in the Mishnah. Lo, aliba de Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, kuli alma lo pligi, ki pligi, aliba de Rebbe, de Rabbi Meir kerebi. The Gemara rejects this. No. According to the opinion of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, everyone agrees that there is no need to substantiate the existence of all the types of evidence. When Rabbi Meir and the rabbis disagree in the Mishnah, it is according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. And Rabbi Meir holds that one is required to substantiate the existence of all his types of evidence, in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Yerabanan amri lach, ad kan lo kamar Rebbe, hasam ela bechazaka, mikoach shtara kaati, aval hacha dihani edim lav mikoach edim acharine kaatu afilu Rebbe moide de ein sarch levarer. And the rabbis could have said to you, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says there that one is required to substantiate the existence of his types of evidence only vis-a-vis a claim of presumptive ownership of the land. If one claims that he possesses the deed of sale for his land, he cannot rely on his presumptive ownership, as the power of his presumptive ownership comes from the power of the deed. Mere possession without an accompanying claim of how one became the owner is disregarded. See Bava Batra 41.8. But here, in the case of two sets of witnesses, since the power of these witnesses does not come from the power of the other witnesses, even Rabbi Yehuda Nasi concedes that one is not required to substantiate the existence of the other set of witnesses. Kiyasa Ravin, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Reisha. When Ravin came from Eretz Yisrael, he said, Rabbi Yochanan says, a different interpretation of the dispute. The former clause, where Rabbi Meir rules that a litigant can disqualify a judge,